All right, PreCalc, here we are, the moment you've been waiting for, the unit circle. We are on lesson 4.1. And we're going to start off nice and slowly by talking about the difference of radian and degree measure. Our essential question today is, can you describe angles? Can you use radian measure? Can you use degree measure? Again, we're going to start off very slowly, and we're going to take this one bit at a time. Radian measure, 1 radian, or rad, as you see on the calculator. You guys will see this on your calculator. In Chapter 4, and moving forward, you will need to know when you need to be in degree and when you need to be in radians, and we're going to talk about that a lot. 1 radian is the measure of a central angle theta that intercepts an arc S equal in length to the radius r of the circle, where theta is equal to S over r, where theta is measured in radians. Now, we know the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. So if I was to travel all the way around this circle, that would be 2 pi, and typically we would multiply it by the radius, which would be r. So let's look at a couple different scenarios. Pi over 6. So because I know all the way around a circle is 2 pi, we're starting to talk about things in terms of pi. Notice that I just blocked this off in 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the first one is pi over 6. The next is pi over 4. So again, we're just talking about the measure pi, and I've split it into 1, 2, 3, 4. Pi over 4. Pi over 3. Again, we're talking about the measure pi. Pi over 3. Pi over 2, which makes sense because this is halfway around my pi. Remember, all the way around would be 2 pi, but halfway around is pi. And then a quarter is pi over 2. Pi is just a halfway around the unit circle. And all the way around, we talked about this in pink, so I'm going to be consistent, is 2 pi. Now, you will warm up to these. One thing we need to talk about is we will always use the initial side being this side of the unit circle. So let's say there was a big circle here. Okay, so we're always going to start with the initial side being here, and we're going to go to the terminal side being where we end up. So if it's pi over 3, we'll talk about that. All right, so this is kind of putting it in perspective. Notice that if I travel this way, I go pi over 6, and I would say that that's like 1 pi over 6, and then we go to 2 pi over 6. Well, that reduces to a third. 3 pi over 6, hey, that reduces to a half pi. 4 pi over 6, yep, reduces to 2 pi over 3. 5 pi over 6, that really says 5 pi over 6. And then 6 pi over 6 just brings us to 1 pi, and halfway around the unit circle would be 1 pi. So the first question says, for the positive angle 9 pi over 4, subtract 2 pi to obtain a coterminal angle. I love these questions because they literally tell us what to do. The first thing we have to know is, what is coterminal? Coterminal means that it has the same initial and terminal sides. So let's go back to what the question says. And it tells us literally to take 9 pi over 4 and subtract 2 pi. Well, I know that 2 pi is equivalent to 8 pi over 4. So the answer to this is just going to be pi over 4. All right, for the next question, it says, for the positive angle 5 pi over 6, subtract 2 pi. So again, they're just telling us exactly what to do. We are taking 5 pi over 6, and I'm going to subtract. Well, I know 2 pi is 8 pi over, it's not 8 pi, is it? It's, because we have to make this equivalent to something over 6. It's 12 pi over 6. 12 pi over 6, and that is equal to negative 7 pi over 6. So notice when we have a positive angle, we are subtracting 2 pi to get to the coterminal angle. So if I have a negative angle, notice what they're telling us to do. And again, the question just tells us to add 2 pi. So on the next question, it says for the negative angle, negative 3 pi over 4, add 2 pi. So I'm taking negative 3 pi over 4, and I'm adding 2 pi, which I know is 8 pi over 4. And I get 5 pi over 4. So coterminal is saying if I have angle pi over 6, notice I also could call this 13 pi over 6 because I know I could go all the way around the unit circle, which is 2 pi, and then I'm going to go up 1 more pi over 6. Well, 2 pi is equal to 12 pi over 6, and if I add pi over 6 over that, those are equivalent. So we're going to talk about a lot of equivalent angles within this unit circle.